Long before JFK stood at the Capitol to deliver his inaugural address, Scripture was already offering a blueprint for building a strong community. Galatians 5:13 encourages believers to use our Christian freedom not for ourselves, but to serve one another humbly in love. That spiritual calling to turn freedom into service perfectly mirrors the message JFK presented to the nation in 1961. Fellow students, I share this with you not as someone who has everything figured out, but as an American citizen who deeply believes in the power of service and unity, especially in a country and a world deeply divided by culture and politics. As students here at ACU, many of us understand the importance of duty in connecting our faith, our values, and our responsibilities to others. Therefore, I hope this message encourages us to do just that, which is to seek revival in a world that is in desperate need of it. That is why this message matters to us. As I've analyzed Kennedy's address and the historical moments surrounding it, I've seen how intentionally he called on Americans to move away from self-interest and towards something that is bigger than themselves. JFK's inaugural speech argues that a nation finds its greatest strength and a chance for renewal when its people choose selfless service over personal advancement. His message reflects a profoundly moral and spiritual call to unity, responsibility, and serving one another. With this principle in mind, let's go straight into Kennedy's own language so we can understand his message the same way that his audience did. So let us begin anew, remembering on both sides that civility is not a sign of weakness, and sincerity is always subject to proof. Let us never negotiate out of fear, but let us never fear to negotiate. In the long history of the world, only a few generations have been granted the role of defending freedom in its maximum hour of danger. I do not shrink from this responsibility, I welcome it. I do not believe that any of us would exchange places with any other people or any other generation. The energy, the faith, the devotion which we bring to this endeavor will light our country and all of those who serve it. And the glow from that fire can truly light the world. And so, my fellow Americans, ask not what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country. My fellow citizens of the world, ask not what America will do for you, but what together we can do for the freedom of man. Finally, whether you are citizens of America or citizens of the world, ask of us here the same high standards of strength and sacrifice which we ask you. With a good conscience for only sure reward, with history the final judge of our deeds, let us go forth to lead the land we love, asking his blessing and his help, but knowing that here on earth God's work must truly be our own. From these lines, we can begin to see the central idea Kennedy is pushing toward, and today I want to share with you the roots of his message and how it speaks to us. To fully grasp onto the way of Kennedy's message, we must step into the world that he was speaking to. This was a very chaotic and uncomfortable time in American history. Culturally, the U.S. lived under intense Cold War anxiety, the civil rights movement was rising, and global tension shaped daily life. Furthermore, a younger generation was emerging, the space age was beginning, and society was changing very fast. Economically, America was recovering from a recession, unemployment was high, and inequality was growing. Politically, Congress was divided, the election was controversial, and nearly every decision was shaped by Cold War pressure. His conclusion is a call to shared duty and collective service, reminding Americans that the preservation of freedom and the advancement of peace cannot be left to the government alone. For instance, he urges the nation, let us begin anew remembering that civility is not a sign of weakness. And later, ask not what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country. It is evident that he calls citizens to unity, sacrifice, and the hard work of serving something greater than themselves. Fast forward to today, and we see a similar division. For instance, a survey published in a USA Today article in 2025 found that 9 out of 10 Americans believe our country is more divided than ever, and 80% say we are greatly divided on our most important values. Furthermore, a New York Times and Siena College poll found that 64% of voters believe our divisions are so deep that our system can no longer solve our most significant problems. Yet even in the midst of this polarization, there is a spark of unity, as more than 80% of both Democrats and Republicans still view the other side as Americans and not enemies. That small spark of unity tells us something important. Healing is possible, but only if individuals choose it. This reveals the heart of my argument. A nation becomes strongest and experiences renewal when its people embrace selfless service rather than personal gain. That is not only political, but it is moral and deeply spiritual. Going back to Galatians 5:13, it reminds us to use our freedom to serve one another humbly in love. Kennedy echoed the same truth when he said, energy, faith, the devotion that citizens bring will light the nation. Even modern voices recognize that faith and responsibility are inseparable. Many warn that a society that loses its sense of shared moral duty losing its freedom as well. As Charlie Kirk once put it, faith and freedom go hand in hand. A nation that loses its faith will inevitably lose its freedom. Looking at both Kennedy's moment and our own, the same truth emerges. Unity does not happen by accident. Strength and revival come when ordinary people choose humility over pride, responsibility over comfort, and courage over convenience. Kennedy's message communicates the idea that America cannot move forward unless its people move forward together. Scripture teaches the same. Freedom is not a gift to keep, but it is a gift to give. That truth is reflected here at ACU. We may not be shaping a nation yet, but we are developing our character, our habits, and our willingness to serve. The way we treat each other, the love we show, and the choices we make now will ultimately shape our communities and our future. If our nation is ever to heal, it will begin with people like us who choose to love first, listen first, and serve first. In conclusion, JFK's inaugural speech teaches us that a nation is strongest and renewed when its people choose selfless service and unite in shared moral responsibility. Thus, we should take JFK's words seriously and Scripture's call even more seriously. May we become people who do not ask, what can I get, but how can I serve? Because when a nation chooses service, we can find healing and the world can find hope. This nation will revive when people stop asking for a blessing and start becoming one. Thank you.